Guys, just picture this. I'm standing at work. Obviously, I work with the SDS team, right? So I'm working at the SDS streaming booth at Baller League. We have just beaten Deportivo. Things are good. Lias, Faisal, they're there commentating over the game. Obviously, what happened at the end, I'm not even going to get into. What a finale. What a finish. But let's focus. Lias looks at me and shows me his phone. And he's smiling. I'm like, what's going on? I look. I couldn't believe my eyes. My eyes lit up. I got goosebumps, butterflies. Brian Mbeumo has chosen Manchester United. That's what I see. Ornstein, bomba. Bomba clot. That's what I was thinking. He's chosen us. I can't believe I'm at a point now where Brian Mbeumo choosing us. I'm in disbelief. I'm in actual disbelief. So is the rest of the world, by the way. The rest of the world are thinking, oh, why would you choose Man United? Why would you? Listen, we might be in the gutters. We're still a bigger club than you. Relax. Relax. We're still huge. We're still giants on our own rights. Relax. But you know when you've got like a gut feeling, something deep inside you that just tells you that you're not going to get this player. Either another club is going to react quicker, or another club is going to sell him their project better, or he just might look at Man United right now and be like, it's not the most stable, you know, they've got Europe, whatever. I genuinely thought he was going Newcastle. I thought Newcastle are more ambitious than us, they've got more money than us, they want to move quicker. They're a serious club, let's be real. Right now, they're moving serious. Man United aren't. So I thought, you know what, he's probably going to go Newcastle, man. Isak, Gordon, and Mbeumo. Scary. But then I saw that. And, you know what, let me show you the tweet. Let me show you the tweet. Shout out Centre Devils, by the way. I'm going to be using their sources a lot today. Or obviously they just, you know, kind of push on information that others tweet. But David Ornstein. Breaking. Brian Mbeumo has decided he wants to join Manchester United over all the other clubs. All the other clubs, by the way, in essence, Newcastle, Spurs, Arsenal, all interested. And United are now expected to open talks with Brentford in bid to sign the 25-year-old forward this summer. Wow. Wow. I couldn't believe it. I was over the moon. Genuinely, I was over the moon. We need this. We need this so badly. Brian Mbeumo choosing Man United. Apparently, he grew up a Man United fan. Apparently, he had the number 7 Ronaldo shirt growing up, Man United. Now, guys, we've got this much juice left. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Speaking of which, my throat is dry. We've got a little minuscule pedicule gram of juice left. It's not a lot. We need to use it as much as we can to generate more juice. Do you get what I'm trying to say? The little juice we've got, we need to use it wisely to generate more juice. Because we need it. Players aren't growing up watching Man United anymore. Unfortunately, we last had success in 2013. Real success in 2013. I'm looking at Man United fans now, like young Man United fans, and they're like, oh, Rashford made me support United. Bruno made me support United. I'm like, oh, bro, I feel sorry for you, man. I feel like, big up you. Like, it's good that we've got those players and all that kind of stuff, but I feel sorry for you. I grew up winning stuff. Champions Leagues. Even if we're not winning, we're getting to the final. Premier Leagues. All these young, exciting players nowadays, they've grown up watching PSG. They've grown up watching Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea maybe, Barcelona, Real Madrid. There's a lot of other teams ahead of us in the pecking order right now, unfortunately. We're still a huge club, don't get it wrong. But our legacy has been tarnished over the past 13, 12 years or whatever it was, of absolute disaster, of failure, of mockery, of what this football club is. But this is our chance to put it right. The players that want to join us now, we bring them in. We bring them in. Top players. Let's go through a bit of the news. So, Brian Mbeumo obviously wants to join Manchester United. That is there. What else have we got here? Has prioritised, that's coming in from Fabrizio Romano as well. So you've got Ornstein and Romano just holding up Bloods and Crips, coming together. Over all the other Premier League clubs. What else have we got here? A formal bid is expected to be made soon from Manchester United, with Brentford seeking around £50 million for Brian Mbeumo. Listen, guys, I'll be honest with you. 50 million, we take it and we run. 50 million for a guy who scored 20 league goals. 50 million for a guy who is established. 25, 26-year-old, I believe, turns 26 soon. Comes into that right 10 spot perfectly. Fits in, is going to get us goals. It's going to elevate our game immediately. We're not waiting for £50 million with a player like Brian Mbeumo. You're not waiting for, give him a year. It's not Erasmus. Speaking of which, by the way, we're going to get onto. It's not Erasmus. It's not a project player. He's going to come in and hit the ground running. Similar to Cunha. We've got two players in that department of the pitch now, in that part of the pitch. A crucial part of the pitch, may I add as well, by the way. You know, kind of linking the midfield to the attack, but also pitching them with goals. We expect goals from these players, from these two tens. That are going to come in and make a difference immediately. Huge, huge for us. There is some other news that we're going to be talking about. You know what? Just so I show you exactly what news we're going to be talking about. You might notice there are 3 positions vacant. Well, one of them's getting filled. Brian Mbeumo. That's his chant. I don't care. I want everyone at Old Trafford. I don't want Brian Mbeumo. He scores for France. I don't want that. He's not even French. I want Brian Mbeumo. Yeah? Understood? Guys, you might notice Fernandes. He's in the starting 11. Why is he in the starting 11, Hussein? Let's get to it. Let me show you. Rasmus, your time's coming. I'm going to get to you. Bruno Fernandes. Guys, there's so much that happened. And again, I'm going to treat this like a news show. This particular video is going to be like a news show. I'm just going to break everything down. There was so much happening yesterday. I couldn't believe it. Like, obviously, everything that was happening at Baller League, news coming out left, right, and centre about Man United. But then today as well, it's blown up. There's so much to get through. And it's all positive. It's all positive. Obviously, you can look at this in both aspects. I personally believe we should have sold Bruno. But the fact that he stayed, this is a weird one. The fact that Bruno has stayed has made me think selling him would have been a mistake. Let me explain why. Bruno Fernandes, make no mistake about it. Obviously, the breaking news is Bruno Fernandes has rejected El Hilal's proposals. Despite the crazy contract proposal from the Saudi Pro League club, Bruno Fernandes wants to continue playing football in Europe. United's captain wants to play at the top level in Europe. This guy is 30 years old. He's not going to see money like this. Maybe ever. The fact he told himself, money's nice. Legacy is important. Legacy is super important. I'm the captain of one of the biggest clubs in Europe. One of the biggest clubs in the world. I want to take this club back. I want to help take this club back. I've still got the hunger in me to take this club back to where it belongs. I still feel like I've got a pivotal role. The manager wants me. So, him rejecting that amount of money has inspired me to believe in him more. That decision alone, I respect you. That decision, turning down that much money, I respect you. Because even if your head was firmly screwed on, that money tempts anyone. It tempts anyone. It's like when you're happily with your girl, but your dream crush, your dream celebrity, suddenly, what? Beyonce wants me. You might not go, but you consider it. But you won't go. And that's what Bruno's done. He considered it. 2-3 weeks. He said, you know what, let me think about this. What are you saying, babes? You want to go Saudi? Well, you're not feeling it. Utes, what are you saying? You're not trying to learn Arabic? Calm, man. I want to stay at this club. I want to take this club back. So Bruno Fernandes will be starting for us next season. It's confirmed. And I'm happy that it's put to bed. El Hilal done us a favour, by the way. This is what I like about Saudi teams. They move quick. You either want us or you don't. It also puts a player in a position where it's like, this life-changing amount of money, this life-changing opportunity is more enticing now because I've only got 2 weeks to make it. I've only got a week to make it. If I gave you the whole month or 2 months, you'd be like, yeah, it's not whatever. No, I've got a week to make my decision. Okay, maybe you have a little panic in you and you're like, yeah, cool, I'm going to take it. It's a really smart move. But also, it does us a favor as well because we needed this wrapped up very quickly. You either go and you let us get the money in to rebuild, or you stay and you put everything to bed. And he's made his decision. Bruno Fernandes would like to stay at Manchester United. Now, Let me go back quickly as well because there is other parts. Yep. So you see here as well. Manchester United, this is coming in from Sky Sports. What's that, Chef? Anyways. Manchester United aims to act quickly in the market to give Ruben Amorim more time with his players before the new season. This is something that we've needed for a while. I remember every single summer transfer window, it felt like, why is everyone else doing business and why not? Why is everyone doing business and why not? I want to see more outgoings, I'll say that. I think there is a lot being done around the incomings and potentially making contact here, making contact here. Maybe we didn't get plan A, so we're moving on to plan B. But I need to see more happening with outgoings. And speaking of outgoings, we're going to get onto it as well. But I need to see something happen there because there's so many players that I'm almost feeling like, do we have enough time to offload these players that, by the way, they're not players that, maybe we should get rid of, but maybe we shouldn't. They're players that 100% have to go. I'm talking Rashford. I'm talking Sancho, for example. These are players we know are going. We just have to find a suitor for them. Yeah, so we've done that. £50 million. What else? What else is here? This is the big one. This is another big one. Huge. Guys, what a day. You might notice I left the striking position vacant. Rasmus Højlund will not be starting for us next season. I don't think he'll be starting for us next season. And this is a player that I felt, although I know Amorim doesn't want him, I know the club don't want him, feasibly, can we get rid of him? That was my biggest concern. Can we get rid of a Rasmus Højlund? A serious club would, but I just don't trust Man United to go out and get rid of him. So it's coming out today. Inter Milan, by the way. I said it. Italy, please help us with Rasmus. Just take him. Inter Milan, whenever we don't want a player, they're just there. Darmian, Ashley Young, Lukaku. We'll take them off you. No problem. They'll win a Scudetto here, by the way. But we'll take them off you. They'll get us out of jail. Rasmus Højlund. Inter Milan are stepping up their interest in Rasmus Højlund. They have made contact with his entourage and want to a certain price from Manchester United over the coming days. Right. This was also backed by Fabrizio Romano, who made a tweet about it, and Pletigol. So Pletigol, Fabrizio Romano, and Mailsport all saying that Inter Milan are firmly interested in Rasmus Højlund, and they basically just want to know how much for this guy. Like, we're interested in, we want him. Which, big up Inter. I have no idea what you're on. The only thing I'll say about Inter Milan that worries me a little bit with this deal is they might have a change of management. If the manager goes, obviously Simone Inzaghi is rumoured to be going to El Hilal. If Simone Inzaghi goes to El Hilal, a new manager can come in and say, I don't really want this guy. He doesn't fit my system. Maybe I play more proactive football, progressive football. You know, we take control. And when we take control, Rasmus isn't that type of player. Rasmus is a counter-attacking type of player. So for a Simone Inzaghi system, I think it does make sense. But for example, rumoured that they want to replace Simone Inzaghi with a young coach. We know what these young coaches are on. They're more possession-based. For example, you look at Cesc Fabregas. That's one of the names that is mentioned to replace Simone Inzaghi. I don't know if he'll go there, in all honesty. I think Como is a really nice project, and obviously he's got shares in there. So, and also he rejected Bayer Leverkusen to stay at Como. So let's see. Definitely keep an eye on it. Definitely keep an eye on that one. Talking of replacements, obviously sources did come out yesterday or the day before. It was yesterday actually, that Man United were looking at Aleksandar Mitrovic, which I don't know. I mean, I like him as a player, and I did say that we do need like a stopgap. I think the price put me off. I think 40 million for Aleksandar Mitrovic isn't the one. And in terms of quality, I just think there's better. I just think there's better options. Aleksandar Mitrovic in a world where Mateta doesn't exist, okay, cool. Aleksandar Mitrovic in a world where Gyökeres isn't 20 or 15 million pounds more expensive, okay, cool. But those two players alone, like Osimhen, like these are the players. You spend 10 million more maybe, but you get a striker rather than 1 or 2 years, you get a striker for the next 5, 6 potentially. So, but anyways, sources close to Aleksandar Mitrovic have ruled out reports that he could leave El Hilal and join Manchester United either permanently or on a loan this summer. So I think that's put to bed now. I think it was just one of those things where his name was mentioned on the list, but I don't think we really tried anything. Euro would like to stay. That's all nice. That's all cute. Manchester United wants to start negotiations with Brentford shortly in order to finalise the deal for Mbeumo. The player has already... So basically, essentially, this is what that means. Personal terms have basically been agreed with Mbeumo. or they're not an issue. And Mbeumo wants to join Manchester United. His desire is there. He's let them know. He's communicated that he wants to join Manchester United. It's up now to Manchester United and Brentford to agree a price. This takes out the bidding process. This takes up driving up the price, because Mbeumo, rather than sitting down and said, you know what, I'll let you guys handle it, and then whoever's like the best suitor, basically, I'll speak to them. Rather than saying that and letting Man United, Arsenal, Newcastle, Spurs all fight it out in like a bidding war, which drives up the price 50, 60, 70 million pounds potentially, he's come out and said, I want Man United, so please speak to Man United first. Therefore, Brentford will just tell us a price. And of course, there's going to be negotiations. They're probably going to try and get a similar price to Cunha, which I understand because obviously it's a similar mold of quality, similar type of player. But Cunha was a release clause. Brian Mbeumo doesn't have a release clause. So naturally, in a release clause, you up the price a little bit. It's going to be interesting. But the reports are coming out that it's between the 50 and 60 million pound mark, which, by the way, like I think is a good deal anyway. I think we should be paying that for Brian Mbeumo. I like that. I like that price, personally. This is a big one. Again, he's not on here. There's a reason he's not here. Andre Onana is still expected to leave Manchester United this summer. I don't know where that's come from. Mail Sport, apparently. But I don't know, like, where... You know what? Is there replies to this? Is there, like, mention of where it's coming from? Man, I'm just celebrating. Thank God. Yeah, this is crazy. This is insane. Anyways, hopefully it's true. Hopefully it's true. Onana is still expected to leave Manchester United this summer. I mean, there's been talk of Saudi being interested potentially. Saudi teams that aren't competing in the Club World Cup, which obviously is every team except Al Hilal, they're going to probably take a bit of time with their transfers. Al Hilal is moving crazy now because they want obviously players to come in for the Club World Cup. Edison is another name that they're mentioning, which is a player that we're potentially looking at. But now that Bruno Fernandes has said no, they're looking towards Edison. Andre Onana is an interesting one because I think clubs will be interested, but it'll probably be when the transfer window is probably open. We're looking at July. I'm happy though. I think Ruben Amorim has communicated that. And this is something we need to understand as fans. He doesn't want Onana to stay. I guarantee Ruben Amorim does not want Onana to stay. The club do not want Onana to stay. It's about not publicly falling out to keep the image that this guy's still a valuable player. And, you know, you're going to have to price him away from us a little bit. You're going to have to pay. You know, you can't just give you him at a cut price still. Look at Garnacho. One argument broke out, or whatever, publicly. The price dropped 20 million. 60 million we wanted for him in January. 40 million now. Because it played out publicly. So the club are trying to be smart about it. I guarantee you no one at the club wants Andre Onana to stay. It's just about finding the most suitable way of exiting. So, if he doesn't leave this summer, this is something we're going to have to be patient about. Don't blame Amorim. Don't say Amorim wants Onana. Of course he doesn't flip and want Onana. Of course he doesn't. He probably kills him to go out and defend him in press conferences after. But it's something that he has to do to maintain the price. To maintain the image. That this guy is still a valuable player. You're going to have to pay us 30 or 40 million, potentially. So that's why. But internally, 100%. Onana is a key part that needs to be replaced. And I think they want to replace. I hope we can do it this summer. If we manage to sell Sancho, Rashford, and bring in Rasmus and Onana, those four, and we manage to bring in replacements for the last two, wow. Genuinely, wow. It's something we should be doing, but I didn't expect my club to move like this. PSG, yes. Man City, yes. Liverpool, yes. Man United, no. Hopefully this could be a sign of things to come. What else is there? Bruno Fernandes, yep, we've been through that. Here to stay. Imagine rejecting 200 million. That's exactly what he has done because he still believes Manchester United, and he still wants to lead it. Our captain, Bruno Fernandes. Guys, I don't think we should be sleeping on the fact that he's rejected life-changing money to be able to stay at Man United. The perception of Bruno has been interesting for the longest time. I think Ten Hag era, you were either Bruno in or Bruno out. I think it was 50-50. Since Amorim has come in, the way this guy has stepped up, the way this guy has changed the way he plays. Listen, he still does the quarterback long pass every now and then, but it's nowhere near as much. He's looking after the ball more. He's stepping up in big games more. Yes, okay, in the final, whatever. I love Bruno. I think the money that we were going to receive for Bruno could help us rebuild, but at the same time, we lack leadership. And I said it. It was a big thing what I was thinking like. And I made the video about it, obviously, which a lot of you guys have seen. I would struggle to replace Bruno on the pitch and his leadership. Another point someone made, and it's so true. This guy doesn't miss games. You can't find me a more reliable, important player than him. You can't find me a more reliable captain, best player in the team than him. Integral part of the team in everything we do. That reliable, that available. It's insane. It's because it's not a metric that we see. It's not like something that we see on the eye. We just see Bruno Fernandes on the team sheet. Yep, okay, yep, that's expected. We take it for granted. It's not a pass that we're looking at like, wow, it's not a shot that we're looking at. This guy turns up every single week, midweek, end of week. It's crazy. I don't know, how does he do it? Surprised he's not... Do you get me? I'm not going to say it, but flipping out. Let's see what else there is. Ruben Amorim wants to add... Sorry, and this is coming in from Laurie Whitwell. I believe Laurie Whitwell's the Athletic, no? Yes, he is. Shout out Laurie Whitwell. Very reliable as well. Ruben Amorim wants an athletic number 8 type midfielder while strengthening in the wing-back area is on the agenda. Guys, this came out, I think, last month or last few weeks, that the main positions were striker, number 10 on top of Cunha, a number 8 and a wing-back. We've gotten, obviously, the striker, the other number 10, other than Cunha. It feels like we're working on a striker, whether it be a Gyökeres and Osimhen and Mateta we'll get onto. And now we're working on the number 8. And wing-back is interesting. I didn't think wing-back was on the agenda, to be honest. And I don't know which side he would want to strengthen first. You guys let me know as well. What side do you think Ruben Amorim is looking at? Is he looking at more the left wing-back side, where we've got obviously Dorgu and we've got maybe a Harry Amas or Luke Shaw? Or are we looking at the right side, where we speculate Ahmad to start? You've got Dalot there, and you've got Mazraoui potentially. But obviously the former two are going to be the more important ones in that position. That'll be interesting. I do think the number 8 will be the next signing we make after the number 10 and the striker. Interesting to see who as well, by the way. I don't think... Obviously the strikers, I could probably draw up the shortlist that we've got. It probably looks like Gyökeres, Mateta, Osimhen, and obviously as of recent, we've learned about Alexander Mitrovic. I think those are our 4 leading options for strikers. On number 10s, it was literally Mbeumo. Maybe I think like a Semenyo or something, potentially. You're looking at Cherki was discussed, but I don't think it was taken ever too seriously. I think Mbeumo was like by far the leader. I think we've got our first choices in the left 10 and the right 10. Eze was another one. I think we've got our first 2 options in that, which is great. The number 8, I haven't heard a lot about. Let me know if I'm missing anything, and let me know please any sources. But I don't think I've seen really any mention of 8s other than Edison, who looks like he's about to join El Hilal. But other than that, I don't think I've seen much. So it'll be interesting. On the strikers now, Ruben Amorim remains a major admirer of Victor Gyökeres. Again from Laurie Whitwell. Big news, guys. Big news. Although Victor Osimhen's expected wages have been seen as a prohibitive, hope I've said that right, Manchester United could reevaluate now that the move for Liam Delap is off. Essentially what that means is Osimhen was on the list, along with Delap and Gyökeres. And probably a few others. But Delap's fallen through. Gyökeres is probably our first choice now. Gyökeres is our first choice. If Gyökeres doesn't go through... Gyökeres was our first choice regardless, by the way. I think they just saw that the drop-off from Gyökeres to Delap wasn't a huge drop-off in terms of what he can do for the next few years, because obviously Liam Delap's got big upside, is what they believed. And the price was just half the price. It was a crazy market opportunity that they felt like they had to take advantage of. Obviously, Delap has chosen Chelsea. Now, we're put in a position where, okay, we actually might be forced to go through our first choice, which is a bit of a weird scenario. I believe that Gyökeres was the first choice over Delap, but they just didn't think it was feasible. Gyökeres has a lack of options as well, by the way. Arsenal probably touted to get Sesko. You're looking at Italy, potentially. But apparently, Gyökeres' dream is to play in the Prem. Now that Delap's gone, it's kind of like, okay, if we don't get Gyökeres, we might have to be forced into a move for Osimhen. So let's not completely put him off the table. Let's bring him back a little bit. So that's what that sounds like. So listen, it'll be interesting. I think the striker position will move quick. I think it'll move quick in the next few weeks. So let's keep an eye on that. Bruno Fernandes' rejection of El Hilal does not have any bearing on the expected bid for Brentford's Bayern and Ben Jacobs. He's been super reliable. This is something I said as well, by the way, when we made the Bruno video, that don't buy this thing from the club that selling Bruno is going to allow us to buy Mbeumo. We should be able to buy Mbeumo regardless of the sale of Bruno Fernandes. That's not how this works. You don't have to, we're not a sell to buy club like that. We should be able to, without selling anyone, still bring in 2 to 3 players. Don't try and paint the narrative now that we're so broke that we have to sell our captain to finance a rebuild. That's not how this works. Maybe after Mbeumo, you sell Bruno, and even then I wouldn't sell Bruno. Rashford and Sancho are there. Why are we not getting rid of those first before we even look at Bruno? So hopefully the deal for Mbeumo should move quickly. Like I said, personal terms have basically been agreed. It's now up to Brentford and United to just talk, and I think they'll work through it. I think both are keen to probably have a resolution soon. Manchester United are expected to contact Brentford this week to work on a deal for Brian Mbeumo. Let's see what's happening here. Nigeria manager, I don't really care what he's got to say. I don't like it when managers like pitching, national team managers pitching for like players about their club life. Like you've got no real say. You add your 2 pence in for no reason. I've never seen it happen where like the manager will say something and then the club will go and be like, okay, yeah, we'll go and sign him. It just doesn't work. Bruno Fernandes had until Friday to give his decision regarding Al Hilal, and he decided to sign on the offer. That's great. So apparently they want 60 million for Brian Mbeumo. I think this is reports just putting out so that it drives up the price. I believe it will be between 50 and 60. I think obviously we're going to play in installments, add-ons, all that kind of stuff. But I think it will be 50 to 60. And yeah, I'm just over the moon that he's chosen us, genuinely. I don't think we should be surprised is the honest truth. But yeah, big news as well. What's this? Play to go. This is it. Yep, concrete target for Inter Milan. Manchester United are open to top offers with contacts already taking place. This is another thing. Like, don't devalue Rasmus Højlund. Amorim doesn't want Rasmus Højlund at Man United, but he's not going to come in and devalue him. The guy is still young. He's 21, 22. He's a great opportunity for another team to come in and potentially use him in their system that works, and he can potentially do well. But if we come out and we're saying, oh yeah, the striker just doesn't score, man. You know, if he takes that chance, the game changes. No, you can't say that. You have to say, oh, we're pushing him, we're trying, blah, blah, this is that. You have to. It's not ideal it's not an ideal place for a manager to be in. Imagine us as fans being forced to sit in front of a mic with cameras and everything and telling people, the world, that, oh yeah, like, yeah, he tries, he's a good guy, blah, blah. No, I don't think it's his fault. I think, you know, everyone's fault together. No. Ideally, truth be told, Amorim would like to come out and say, Onana, this guy's shit, he's held me back. Rasmus, this guy's horrible, bro. He can't even score in a fucking gimme, in a broth. He can't. So, but he can't. He can't say that. We have to keep the value of the players. We have to. For stuff like this. Inter Milan, how much you want? 50 million. I don't know, he's a valuable player, but cool, let me think about it. Let's see what happens there. Jadon Sancho. I'm just waiting for the report. I'm just waiting for it to come up. Yep, apparently Mbeumo. Yeah, okay, cool. Can we get the actual report, or is it not there? Because I don't like clicking on the website and all that kind of stuff. Okay, it doesn't seem like it. But essentially, Fabrizio Romano. Where is it? I'll just go on here. Fabrizio Romano has basically come out and said that Jadon Sancho will not be joining Chelsea. Chelsea do not want to... I can't believe I'm saying this. Chelsea don't want to pay... Okay. Chelsea don't want to sign a player they are obliged to sign. Mr. Freedom Fighter. A club loaned you with an obligation. Do you not understand what an obligation means? You are obliged. Like, you're obliged to sign. There's no if, buts, or maybes. But in the scenario, for whatever reason, I don't know what could happen, but for whatever reason they don't want to sign you, 5 million. You guys can come out of the obligation, which is an obligation, but you have to pay us 5 million. They said, yeah, okay, cool, no problem. Say, wallah, they've used that 5 million release clause, contract, forbidden clause, whatever. Rip up the contract. They said 5 M's. They've signed a youth player worth fee. They've basically paid that to get rid of you. Mr. Freedom Fighter. I don't want to see you back at the tour. I don't want to see you in training. I don't want to see you at Carrington. I don't want to see you anywhere. Don't even put in your bio, Man United player. I don't want to see that. Dip. Mr. Freedom Fighter. You finally got your freedom. How can you be free from an obligation to buy, bro? How can you be freed from an obligation to buy? You know what that's like? Genuinely, do you know what this is like? Klarna. I go, yeah. I'm going to pay you over 3 months. First month, I pay. Second month, I pay. Third month, I say, Wallahi, I'm not paying. How about that? Mum's like, Wallahi, I'm not paying. Wallahi, I'm not even, you're never seeing that money. How about that? That's what Chelsea did. They say, Wallahi, you want this Hoover that I copped from Klarna, this Hoover, it's doing nothing. It's not even, bro, how am I using it on and the dirt's still there? Nothing's moving. And you want me to pay for this? They're like, nah, take it up with it. Wallah, I'm not paying. Tell Argos, I'm not paying. Sancho's come back and gone. They don't want me. Don't know why he's from Manchester. He's not from there, but he's Watford. Fam, they don't want me, fam. Sancho, good dude, man. Good dude. But essentially, Sancho will be returning to Manchester United. Not really. It will just say on his Wikipedia that he plays for Manchester United. But it's just a bit annoying. That's one player that we would have just gotten rid of. It's nice. Chelsea won you a little conference thing. Give us 25 M's. Let's just get him off the books. It's good. We don't have to start any new conversations with anyone. Now, hi, we've got a potential, player for you. Dortmund, Leverkusen. Well, Leverkusen's not going to flip and work anymore. Ten Hag. Como, Fabregas. He'll be a good player for you, We're going to have to do that. We're going to have to knock on doors and try and find a suitor for Sancho, which isn't ideal because, like I said, we've got so much we need to be doing. I don't need us to be concentrating on these mugs. Let me do one last refresh, see if there's any new news that's been coming in. Manchester United wants to leave. Let's see this. After scouting, Newcastle agreed that Matheus Cunha and Brian Mbeumo are the type of players they need to attract. But both will be on their way to Manchester United. I need this guy soon. I need you, man. I need you, brother. But essentially, at the end of this is something that I want to be updating regularly. I think this is going to be our starting 11 for next season. Right now, I don't think we have a goalkeeper, and I don't think we have a striker. What are your thoughts on this? I think potentially Amorim's looking for a starter here, other than Ugarte. Which I hear, he's tried Casemiro in this role, he's tried Ugarte in this role, he's tried Mbeumo in this role, he's tried multiple players in this role. I think he needs his boy in this role. He needs a boy he can really, really trust, which makes sense. Ugarte can then come on. Mbeumo can then come on. Mbeumo could also play in these two roles here. You've got the right, I think we might be looking at, or left. Let me know your comments, let me know your thoughts. Which one are we going for in particular? And then goalkeeper. It'll be interesting to see who we go with as well, because forget Onana leaving Man United, we haven't really been linked with incomings other than obviously Martinez and Milinkovic-Savic. And I do believe that the tide has switched recently, in that before it felt like Milinkovic-Savic was more of like the front runner. I feel like recently maybe they've sensed that Martinez could be a better fit potentially for Manchester United. So I'll be interested to see what happens there. But I think there was a Fabrizio Romano tweet here. Yep, that's just about Thingy, Ornstein here. Sancho, yeah, you got the Sancho story here. But yeah. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you like this type of content as well. If you want me to just focus on one topic, or if you like this kind of summary roundup type video that I've done today. Like I said, I really do take a lot of your feedback on board. Guys, thank you so much for the support as well, by the way. I haven't really said it yet because I've just been recording back to back to back. But yesterday was like the first big kind of break I took from yesterday morning to today morning. I was out and like so many of you guys came up to me at Baller League and just said, bro, like your main channel's sick, but the football stuff you've been uploading, bro, keep going, please. So genuinely, guys, it means the world. Please, if you're new, if you watch this content, if you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. I'm trying to grow as quickly as possible. Let me know, please let me know. Genuinely, I genuinely listen to you lots. Let me know what you want to see, because I'm creating content for you lot, right? So let me know what you'd like to see. And any other questions that I asked you throughout this video, comment them down below. Leave a like, and I'll speak to you extremely soon, because I feel like more news is going to break soon, inshallah.